Hello everyone, welcome back to Ravi's biology classes. Today's topic is double circulation in human beings. Till now we are very clear about the anatomy of the human heart, and we know that human heart is four chambered, clearly demarcated into right and left chambers, two atria and two ventricles. All the four chambers are clearly separated from each other, and the significance of this separation is also very well known to us. It helps us to receive good supply of oxygen to carry out all the essential physiological activities. In this video, we are going to see the path taken by the blood to be circulated in our body. As usual, we will start this process from the blood supplied to the heart from the body tissues. So, as you can see here, the blood vessel which carries the carbon dioxide rich blood from the body parts to the heart. Now we are very clear about it, which blood vessel this can be. This blood vessel is vena cava. Vena cava, as we know, it is further divided in two subparts. One it is called as inferior vena cava and another one called as superior vena cava. Both of them, they carry carbon dioxide rich blood, which is also called as deoxygenated blood, from the different body parts to the heart and empties their content into the right atrium. So, right atrium now is filled with carbon dioxide rich blood. The blood entered into the right atrium in turn empties its content into the right ventricle through the valves which open up as the blood passes out through them. These valves are called as tricuspid valves. They prevent the backflow of the blood into the atrium. As the right ventricle is filled with the blood, it pumps the blood out of the heart to get oxygenated. It does through the pulmonary artery. But again, the blood has to pass through the valves, and the valve which let this blood go out of the right ventricle are called as pulmonic semilunar valve. And the blood vessel that carries the deoxygenated blood out of the heart to the lungs is called as pulmonary artery. It is labeled as A. So, the blood contained in pulmonary artery, it is carbon dioxide rich blood, and here it is denoted by the blue color. It tells us that the blood vessel is carrying carbon dioxide rich blood. Where it is going? It is going to the lungs for getting oxygenated. In its path, pulmonary artery again breaks up into two branches so that it can supply the blood to two lungs, right lung and left lung separately. Once the pulmonary artery reaches the lungs, it branches out into finer blood vessels, and they are called as capillaries. These capillaries make their way into the alveoli where the oxygenation process take place. If you guys have to understand how oxygenation process take place, you can have a look into the video which I will share on the I button here. Click at the I button and you will get the video for the exchange of gases during breathing. So, these capillaries help in the oxygenation. They reach the alveoli where they surround the alveoli, they exchange the gases with oxygen. As the blood get oxygenated, the capillaries again rejoin and they form and they trace their path back towards the heart. But this time they are carrying oxygen rich blood through a different set of blood vessels, and these blood vessels are labeled as pulmonary vein. And I hope you all remember the term pulmonary is referring to lungs. So, pulmonary vein carries oxygen rich blood back to the heart. Now, which chamber of the heart will receive this oxygen rich blood? Left atrium will receive the oxygen rich blood. As the left atrium receives this oxygen rich blood, it lets the blood go into the left ventricle through an opening, that is again a valve. And which valve is this? This valve is called mitral valve or bicuspid valve. The left ventricle, as is filled with oxygen rich blood, now has to pump the blood to different parts of the body, and the blood now leaves the heart through a different blood vessel, and to happen it has to again pass through an opening, and that opening is called as aortic semilunar valve. Both these valves, or rather all the valves present in the heart, they prevent the backflow of the blood to the previous chambers. Thus, the blood which leaves the left ventricle goes out to different body parts through an important artery, and that is the thickest of the arteries present in our body and is called as aorta. I hope you remember that as the aorta leaves the heart, it branches out in three different directions. One is brachiocephalic, one is left common carotid, and one is left subclavian. If you remember, if you want to look again, you can again go back to the video which I have made for it in human heart anatomy, and you can find it on the I button. The fourth branch of the aorta descends down and it goes down to different body parts. While it descends down to different body parts or different body organs, now it is termed as artery. On its way down to different body parts, it also supplies the blood to the heart, to the stomach, to the other body organs present in our body. While it reaches the different body organs and their tissues, it supplies the oxygen and the nutrients it is carrying along with it, but in doing so it has to again branch into finer blood vessels which are called as capillaries. So, these capillaries are formed at the body tissue level, organ and their tissue level. While forming the capillaries, the blood vessels, they give out the oxygen carried by themselves to the body organs and the tissues. So, we will label this as capillaries at the tissue level. While doing so, the oxygen which is given away at the tissue level is consumed to perform different physiological activities like respiration being one of the major physiological activity, and other biochemical and catabolic activities which produces lot of toxins and lot of carbon dioxide. Now, the oxygenated blood received by the body tissues through the arteries, it becomes deoxygenated, and now the deoxygenated blood is again sent back to the heart through the veins. As these blood vessels join together and carry the carbon dioxide rich blood, these are the veins which culminate together in forming a bigger or main vein called as vena cava, and again it empties its contents into the right atrium, and the process repeats. Thus, we see that in human body blood travels twice through the heart. before being supplied to the body organs or the tissues for conducting their physiological activities. Thus, this whole process is called as double circulation. This complete process of circulation of blood in human body is further divided into two stages. One is called as pulmonary circulation and the other stage is called as systemic circulation. The whole process of double circulation in human body can be understood through a simple flow chart like this. Right atrium, which receives the blood through the superior and inferior vena cava, it supplies the blood to the right ventricle. Right ventricle carries the deoxygenated blood through the pulmonary artery to the lungs for the oxygenation. In the lungs, oxygenation process take place and the oxygen rich blood is carried through the pulmonary vein and is emptied into the left atrium. From the left atrium, left ventricle pumps the blood to the aorta and through the arteries, tissues receive the oxygenated blood. Tissues carry out all the catabolic processes. During the catabolic processes carried out at the tissue level, the carbon dioxide generated is again sent into the bloodstream through the veins. So, in this manner, the blood circulation taking place at the organ level is called as systemic circulation, whereas the blood circulation taking place at the level of lungs is called as pulmonary circulation. So, I hope the process of double circulation is now very much clear to you guys, and we must also remember that double circulation is only possible because human heart or mammalian heart is having 4 chambers and it improves the efficacy of the circulation. The physiological activities they are carried out at a much better rate and the energy is produced at a much higher rate as compared to in those animals where the heart is just 2 chambered or 3 chambered, which is in case of fishes, amphibians and reptiles. To give an idea for what happens in other animals, let me take you to the circulation that takes place in fishes. In fishes, as we know, they don't have lungs, so the gills are present which help in the oxygenation purpose. The heart is only 2 chambered, which is having only 1 ventricle and 1 atrium. The carbon dioxide rich blood is supplied to the heart through the vein, which is received by the atrium, and it is supplied to the ventricle, and ventricle pumps the blood for the oxygenation purpose to the gills. Gills oxygenate the blood and the blood goes to different body tissues, and when these body tissues utilize the oxygen rich blood for their physiological activities, again the deoxygenated blood is supplied back to the heart. So, in this manner we find that after getting oxygenated in the gills, the blood does not come back to the heart as it happens in the 4 chambered mammalian heart, rather it goes to the different body tissues for the physiological activities. In this manner, what happens, the efficiency of the organism reduces because the oxygenated blood is not pumped by the heart, whereas in the case of human heart, in the mammalian heart, the blood is being pumped by the heart to the different body tissues. So, always the pressure is maintained in the blood vessels. And that is also very one important concept which we will be covering in our next video, that is about the types of circulatory systems, about open circulatory system and the closed circulatory systems. And in our next video we will also cover the cardiac cycle in human body. So I would like you to subscribe to the channel so that you can get the notification as and when the video will be uploaded. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video, understood the topic of double circulation, and if it happens so, then please like the channel and subscribe the channel. Thank you.